We flew about 200 miles yesterday from the south coast of Newfoundland, from Francois, all the way to the east coast of the island to a place called Trinity. Waking up this morning and you knew it was foggy. You didn't even have to look out the window because you could hear the foghorn going. Chris's mom's fiance grew up in Trinity, has a house in Trinity. They spend their summers here. So we were lucky enough to be able to stay at their house.
What does this house mean to you?
Gosh, it's family. The house was built in around 1910 by my grandfather, and it's been in my home, my family since it was built. So it really means home and family to me.
Who are you?
I am Eric Parsons. I am from Trinity. Well, Trinity is in eastern Newfoundland, just off the Avalon Peninsula and in the middle of the Bonavista Peninsula.
Trinity holds a special place in my heart because we used to vacation out here when I was a kid. So coming out here brings back a lot of memories, a lot of really nice memories. The town's pretty small. You could walk around super easy. Most of the people who live out here just come out here for the summer and then have homes elsewhere. My Aunt Elizabeth just moved out here full time and she actually has a store here. She's an artist. She makes jewelry, so we're gonna have to drop into the shop and see if she's there and say hello. Eric grew up out here, and this place is really special to him as well.
This is my shed. Every Newfoundlander has to have a shed. People who live in the suburbs today all have to have a garage. So this is a shed. So this is where everything other than the car goes. This shed was built in about 1939, 1940. And I think there's still some stuff here. It probably dates back to that area that I've yet to clean out. 3 sluts here.
Wait, what?
A cam kettle in Newfoundland is called a slut. S-L-U-T. Most of them are made of copper, but they're gone black with the being used on the open fire. Oh, they're oarlocks.
But the old-fashioned oarlocks had a hole going through here.
Yes, that you could keep your oar in.
Right, and you put your dildo through the holes to keep your oar in the lock.
No, the dildo is this section here. It's not a dildo that went through there.
I know in the town of Dildo,
yeah,
that's what they say, that the dildo is what went through the oarlock this way.
Oh God, I'll give up. I'll bypass my spot, dude. If they're from say that in dildo, it's got to be right.
Here, my parents are here too, so it's really nice to be able to see them on this trip. I know that they've been pretty stressed being in contact with us the last couple of days, being on the side of that mountain, using our GPS phone, not having a lot of reception.
My father was an itinerant fisherman who went to northern Newfoundland to fish every year, and I happened to be born in while we were there. I like to use my boat. It's something that removes any chance of boredom, although it's pretty difficult to get bored in this area with all of the things that you can do, fishing, hiking, and when I say fishing, cod fishing, salmon fishing, trout fishing. When you have a boat, you always have something to do.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you. It's really good to see you after you camped in the wilderness. And
I feel like it's been a year since I've seen you.
It was actually May. How old were you
when I was born?
No. How old were you when you first took control of a boat yourself? Like when you were allowed to go out and take the boat and go?
Oh, gosh. 12, maybe 10, 12. I had a small little rowboat with a 2.5 horsepower motor on it. We used to go jig squids and stuff like that. Well, it has a significant historical past, being number one. But historical from the perspective of, the harbour and the size of the harbour and how safe the harbour is.
Now you see that little entrance? Yeah. That's the only entry to the harbour. And inside the harbour, if you were to go all the way around every nook and cranny, it's over 21 miles. That's what made it such a well-protected harbor for boats that came over. They could consistently stay here in deep water. In the storms and so on, there wasn't a big issue.
And the other thing is, pictorially, Trinity is, it's a peninsula that's sort of bounded by a mountain or a large hill on one side. So it's a distinctive area that has significant beauty. Where the harbour is probably the real reason that Trinity started. It's such a huge harbour, protected and by, you know, a narrow strait that comes in there. I mean, we had a lot of American warships and so on coming into Trinity on their way back from, as they demobilized after the Second World War. So it's historically modern history and sort of histories of the 1600s. Trinity has been, its harbor has been the reason for its existence.
We're gonna do a little exploring, a little heli exploring, while the weather's good, because the fog might sock back in tonight. So we were originally gonna leave this afternoon and try to make it to Carpoon, but we had 2 fuel stops in between. We wanted to give both of our sets of parents heli rides around. Given all of those things that we wanted to get done, I didn't think we really had enough time. We probably could have made it right at sunset getting into Carpoon, but Carpoon Island's an off-airport landing. I've never flown there before. And if any delays struck, I didn't want to have to be coming into an unfamiliar area off airport without optimal lighting. So we just opted to stay another night. We don't really have an itinerary. Kind of want to slow down a little bit and just enjoy it. This is weird, a vehicle, a car, an automobile.
Do you remember how to drive?
No, I can only fly right now. Do you know how to get there?
No.
I don't either. Lost the heli. We found her.
All right, Eric, where are we going? We're going out and around?
Okay, go straight ahead and then turn right.
Here's the stacks we saw this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this area from when we were cod fishing.
Where we do our fishing.
Yeah.
I think there's some whales right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
In July and August, Trinity Bay is part of the route that whales will make from the Caribbean north on an annual basis. Most of the whales here are humpback whales, which are really baleen whales. So that whales, they really have no teeth, but they're able to, by opening their mouths and swimming through a school of capelin, they're able to get a lot of feed. At times it's like they're performing for you. They leap out of the water, they slap their pectoral fins, and they'll periodically come out of the water and look you straight in the eye. And at times they'll also blow and make you all wet.
Unexpected?
Yeah, it was unexpected. It was amazing. And to see Sax
Yeah.
flying over Trinity, cool to see it from up there.
Time to get some ice cream.
Yes.
Now, the problem is you pick out what flavor. I know.
Thank you. Was this like a mug shot here, guys? That's what it was like.
I'm going to hold up my number on the bottom right here.
The fog burned off. We got to go on a little heli tour around Trinity. Eric took us around and showed us basically where the sea stacks were. So we got up in the heli to see the sea stacks, and lo and behold, there's tons of whales everywhere. It was crazy. So we got to see them up close and personal. And now we're just relaxing tonight. We're gonna go visit your Aunt Elizabeth. And it's been go the whole time, whether it's been us trying to get here ASAP, and it's been frantic trying to get here, and then since we've gotten here, it just seems like we've sort of been trying to hit all these destinations. And we just made a decision to slow down and just kind of take it all in. And this is, my vacation. I don't want to go back to work completely fatigued. Added an extra day to Trinity. Who knows if it will mess up our whole itinerary from here from a weather standpoint. It's supposed to be clear tomorrow, so we should be able to get out. But, you know, we'll just play it by ear like we've been doing for the whole trip.
They said you got time to spend with the parents and parents enough.
Where'd you go this morning?
Oh, we just zipped around, saw some sea stacks.
Any whales?
Yeah.
We saw tons this morning.
Yeah.
A lot of them out like putting their fluke up and doing like that.
Oh.
You gonna
Saying
have this
hi.
on camera, have you?
Yeah.
Okay. My name's Elizabeth Burry.
Okay, and where are you from?
I'm originally from St. John's, but we've just moved here to Trinity full time in March. Been here coming for 20 years and said, want to live the Bay life. I own a gift shop, but I'm also a jewelry designer. I have Elizabeth Burry Design, which is my jewelry line. I do artscapes, which are my art paintings. And I have a retail store, which I sell my work and a lot of other artisan work.
Can you describe the setting of your retail store?
My shop is literally on the water. It's built on a crib. I'm looking out at boats and sailboats and people and stages and just a lot of activity. It's a quaint little building. It's designed to look historically correct, so it looks like it could have been here 100 years ago. But it's only like 10 years old. So my mother and Becky's grandfather were brother and sister. So her mom, June, is my first cousin. So Becky would be my maybe second cousin or first cousin once removed. Or yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, she is, I guess, more than a cousin because she grew up. I knew her since she was a baby, obviously. So you know, you know some cousins and you don't know some cousins, and you know Becky's more like a yeah, Becky's yeah. I love her.
All of my amazing memories from Trinity is from coming and staying at Aunt Elizabeth's. I call you Aunt even though you technically are my cousin, but
Cousin Elizabeth's.
all my nice memories like revolve around your house and coming out here with you guys.
When did you get taller?
I don't know.
Maybe I got shorter.
Maybe. Goodbye. Bye.
There's a lot of emotion and about the town and the house. The community itself has changed dramatically. It's much more of a vacation tourist place now, but there's still that group of individuals who have grown up here and have a lot of loyalty and sentimentality, I guess, about the place.
Trinity is as far east as we're gonna come. I wasn't sure that we were gonna make it here, but we did, and we made it here pretty much second destination, which is kind of amazing, but at the same time, it doesn't surprise me since we had to cut Battle Harbor and Carpoon Island off the front of our trip. So I'm glad we made it. I got to see my mother, I got to see her fiance, Eric. We stayed at his house. Thank you, Eric, for having us. Thanks, Mom, for hosting us. Becky's folks came out and made the trip, so it was great seeing them too. A little bit of a bonus to see family. All in all, I think it's just nice to slow down, enjoy your time where you are, and especially time with family. And I think that's what's important here. We're gonna try to get out tomorrow morning. I think the morning's probably gonna be foggy again, but as soon as the fog lifts, we're gonna go. Will we have to spend a third day here? Who knows? It's not the worst place to be stuck. Sure beats getting stuck on a mountainside or on a rock in Quebec. So tomorrow we need to head back towards the west side of the island. We have a couple days left before we really have to actually head back to Buffalo. I'm hoping to hit Carpoon Island. That's still a spot that Becky and I both want to visit. It all depends on the weather tomorrow as well as the forecast for the next day, because again, we don't want to get stuck on that island. We have no idea what's going to happen. All we know is we need to get fuel at Gander, we need to get fuel at Deer Lake, and then where we go from there, big question mark. We fell asleep in the helicopter, and the poor person that was working at the FBO was trying to shut down, and she was like, I didn't want to knock on the bubble, but it's Friday night. So we're like, okay, so we got kicked out of the airport.
I've never seen anything like this. It's like goddamn Jurassic Park.
This is like Lord of the Rings shit.
Are we gonna have to do a third day here if we get weathered in? Who knows? Tune in next time on Becky and Grandfather Helicopter to Newfoundland.
Some of the towns in Newfoundland a number of years ago were changing the names of their town because they had the words that they were called, the names had become sort of unpopular, or it wasn't right. So like there was a town in Notre Dame Bay called Gayside, so they changed their name. So at this point in time they had CBC radio. They had this morning program or the noon program, and this guy calls in and says, he says, I hear they're talking about changing the names of places around Newfoundland. Well, they're not going to change the name of Dildo because this town was here long before they got that thing. They call it the Dildo.
That's like the town of Hibbs Hole.
Yeah.
And Joe Bat's Arm. And when you look on the map, Joe Bat's Arm is halfway up Hibbs Hole.
I didn't realize that.
It is.
Oh, messy.
Whales just do their little blowhole thing, whatever that's called. Have you ever practiced medicine out of Trinity?
No. Play doctoring only.
That's my mother! This interview's over.
Icebergs are an annual occurrence here in June. But it's rare to find an iceberg here after the middle of July.
So we missed the boat is what you're saying. No pun
Well, you
intended.
missed the berg.